Hello friend, how are you? Welcome to Tripan Study Center. We are going to do today is very important MCQ which will be a very important for the exam point of view, and it will be important for this competitive exam. Let's see what is our topic today. Today we discussion most important MCQ here. The MCQ class 9 cbse ncert science here. You know that today we discussion at Tripan Study Center most MCQ for the exam point of view, and there is important for the exam here. And the question here, to solve the food problem of the country, which among the following is necessary? You know that question is very interesting question here. To solve the food problem of the country, which among the following necessary here? मीन देश की खाद्य समस्या को हल करने के लिए निम्नलिखित में से क्या आवश्यक है। देखिए, देश में खाद्य की समस्या जो है, खाद्य का मतलब होता है फूड की जो समस्या चलती जा रही है, पूरे देश के जो है कमर तोड़ के रख दिया है। महंगाई इतनी बढ़ती चली जा रही है। अगर इस महंगाई से हमें निपटना है तो हमें क्या कर सकते हैं और इसके लिए हमें क्या करना चाहिए। तो क्वेश्चन ये काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण है, काफ़ी ज़रूरी है, इसको समझना भी ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि ये क्वेश्चन तो है ही है लेकिन देश का सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम भी है। द ऑप्शन है इंक्रीज द प्रोडक्शन एंड स्टोरेज ऑफ फूड ग्रेन, बी here easy access of people to the food grain, and C people should be have money to the purchase the grain, and D all of above. You know that question is very interesting. To solve the food problem of the country, which among the following necessary here? The necessity is important, but one point is important. To solve the food problem of a country, there should be increase in the production and storage of food grain. Most of all point here, the increasing in the production and storage of food grain, there should be easy access to the people to the food grain, and people should be have money to be purchase the grain. The most important things here. But options A, increasing the production storage of food grain, yes, it is important. And easy access to people to the food grain, yes, it is also important here. And C, people should be have money to purchase the grain, yes, it is right. It means to the D option is correct here. Next question on your screen. Question here, which of the cell is the longest? You know that question is very interesting. Which of these a cell is the longest? मीन इनमें से कौन सी कोशिका सबसे लंबी है। देखिए, ये चार ऑप्शन आपको दिए हुए हैं, इनमें से आपको बताना है कि सबसे लंबी कोशिकाएं कौन सी है। क्वेश्चन समझ में आया कि सबसे लंबी कोशिका कौन सी है। अगर हम ऑप्शन पे ध्यान दें तो ऑप्शन ए बोन सेल, ऑप्शन बी nerve cell, option C stomach cell, and D heart muscle cell. You know that question is very important. Which of these cell is the longest? But one point is important. Nerve cell is the longest cell in the human body because nerve cell distribute all part of our body. It means to the longest cell here. It means to the option B is correct. Option B is correct. The nerve cell is the longest cell in our body. The option B is correct. And let's see next question here. The next question on your screen. Question here. Why do the cell of apical meristem lack of vacuoles? You know that question is very interesting. Why do cells of apical meristem lack vacuoles? मीन शीर्ष स्थल विभाजक की कोशिकाओं में रसधानियाँ का अभाव क्यों होता है। देखा जाए तो अपिकल मेरिस्टेम में जो होता है रसधानियाँ का अभाव क्यों होता है? क्वेश्चन काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण है, समझने वाली है। द ऑप्शन है ए दे स्टोर अ फूड मटेरियल, बी they have a thin cell wall, C they contain a dense cytoplasma, and D they are actively or dividing of cell. You know that question is very interesting, but important point here, apical meristem cell are young cell. That's important point here. Apical meristem cell are young cell and are actively or dividing. So they require to the food instantly, and there is no requirement of storing of food. No requirement of storing of food, and also they do not produce a large amount of waste. Hence, they lack vacuoles. There is no produce a large amount of waste, so there are lack of vacuoles. It means to the option here. The option D is correct. Option D is correct. They are actively dividing cell. The option D is correct. Let's see next question here. The next question on your screen. Question here. The kitchen of the cell is. You know that the kitchen of the cell means कोठरी की रसोई है। देखिए ये क्वेश्चन काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण बनता है एग्ज़ाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से कि कोठरी की रसोई हम किसे कहते हैं, यानी किचन्स ऑफ सेल किसे कहते हैं। काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण यहाँ पर क्वेश्चन है। द ऑप्शन है माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया, ऑप्शन बी इंडोप्लाज्मा रेटिकुलम, सी इज क्लोरोप्लास्ट, एंड डी ग्लोक्सिया प्रेचा। यू नो दैट question is very interesting. Question is very interesting. The kitchen of the cell is. But one point here, chloroplast has a green pigment. Chloroplast has a green pigment is called chlorophyll, and they are involved in their photosynthesis of food. So they are also known as the kitchen of the cell. It means to the option C is correct. Option C, chloroplast to call a kitchen of the cell because they are involved in the photosynthesis of food. There is a green pigment is called chlorophyll, and they are involved in the photosynthesis of food. So is called kitchens of cells. It means to the option C is correct. And let's see next question here. Next question on your screen. Question here, amoeba acquire its food through a process term. You know that question is very important and interesting also. Amoeba acquires its food through a process term mean अमीबा अपना भोजन एक प्रक्रिया के माध्यम से प्राप्त करता है, जिसे हम क्या कहते हैं। देखिए दोस्तों, जो अमीबा होता है वो अपना भोजन एक प्रक्रिया के द्वारा ही प्राप्त करता है। उस प्रक्रिया को हम क्या कहते हैं? उस प्रक्रिया को हम क्या कहते हैं? द ऑप्शन ए एक्सोसाइटोसिस, ऑप्शन बी एंडोसाइटोसिस, सी प्लाज्मोलाइसिस, डी बोथ exocytosis and endocytosis. You know that question is very interesting. Question is very interesting. Amoeba acquire is a food through a process term. But one important factor here, amoeba acquire is a food through a process term endocytosis. Endocytosis, the ingestion of material by the cell through their plasma membranes. No, that's the most important things here. Amoeba acquire its food through the process term endocytosis, and endocytosis is the ingestion of material by cells through their plasma membranes. It means to the option B is correct. Endocytosis. Endocytosis the process there is a amoeba acquired to the food through here. Endocytosis. Option B is correct. Let's see next question here. The next question on your screen. Question here. What would be the valency of element that are chemical inactive? You know that question, understand? Question here. What would be the valency of the element that is a chemical inactivity? That's important here. That's important. The option here A0, option B 1, option C 2, option D 5. You know that question is very interesting. The most important question here. But one fact is important. The elements with the valency 0 are chemically inactive as they have a completely filled octets, depth and state. What should be the valency of element that is a chemical inactive? The chemical imbalance is a inactive to mean to here A 0. It means to option A is correct. A is 0. Option A is correct. And let's see next question here. Next question on your screen. Question here. The picture show the arrangement of electron in the cell of different atom. Which two atom have the same valency? You know that question is very interesting. The question here, the picture show the arrangement of electron in the cell of different atom. These two atom have the same valency. You know that picture on your screen, the two atoms are the same here, and there's different. That's important. Mean चित्र में आपको विभिन्न प्रकार के परमाणु के कोश में इलेक्ट्रॉनिक की व्यवस्था को दर्शाया गया है। आप देख सकते हो चित्र में आपको तरह तरह के जो है कहीं पर एक बैलेंसी है, कहीं पर 2 है, कहीं पर देखिए आप 6 है। तो इस तरह से बैलेंसी आपको दर्शाया गया है। आपको इसमें ये बताना है कि किन दो परमाणु की संयोजकता सामान्य है, यानी किसकी दो परमाणु की संयोजकता जो है सामान्य है, यानी एक जैसे है। समझना बहुत ही आसान है। अगर दिमाग लगाओगे तो आंसर आपको 2 सेकंड में पता लग जाएगा। अगर आंसर दिमाग नहीं लगाओगे तो मुश्किल पड़ेगा। हमसे यही पूछ लिया है कि किसकी जो है बैलेंसी सेम है, एंड विच टू एटम्स हैव द सेम बैलेंसी। द ए एटम 1 एंड एटम 2, बी एटम 2 एंड एटम 3, atom C and atom 4, and D atom 4 and atom 1. You know that valency is the most important, but one fact you understand, the fact here, the valency electron are the electrons in the outermost cell. The valency electron are the electrons in the outermost cell are energy level. The most important outermost cell of energy level on the atom of both the atoms, the atom Cu, atom 1, the last orbital is a 1 electron carrier. Atom 2, there is a 1 electron is the last cell here. And atom 3, outermost cell is a 2 atom. And 4 here, 4 atom is outermost cell. But examiner asks the question, which two atom have the same valency? It means to same valency here, option A is correct. It means to the atom 1 and atom 2, there is a 1 electron, there is a carrying here. It means to the valency electron is 1. It means to the examiner question, which two atom have the same valency? So A 1 and 2. It means the A option is correct. And let's see other question here. Next question on your screen. Question here. Which of these is a common for all chemical change? You know that. Question understand? Question is clear. Which of these is a common for all chemical changes here? Option A, changes in the shape. Option B, absorption of the heat. Option C, increase in a volume. And D is the formation of the new substance. Mean here, इनमें से कौन सा सभी रासायनिक परिवर्तन के लिए सामान्य है? आपको बताना है कि जो आपको यहाँ ऑप्शन दिया गया है उसमें से कौन सा जो है रासायनिक परिवर्तन के लिए सामान्य है। रासायनिक परिवर्तन मतलब जो कॉमनली केमिकल चेंजेस होते हैं। The option change the shape, absorption of the heat and increases the volume, formation of new substance. You know that the answer here, the formation of new substance. You know that. That's an important answer. The formation of new substance mean here, the new substance is important because a chemical reaction associated with the formation of new substance. It means to the option D is correct. Formation of new substance. And let's see next question here. Next question on your screen. Question here, which of the following molecules is a triatomic? You know that. Question understand? Question here, which of the following molecules is triatomic? Triatomic is the most important to mean here. निम्नलिखित में से कौन सा अणु जो है त्रिपरमाणुक है? त्रिपरमाणु काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण है। देखिए, तीन त्रिपरमाणुक यानी ट्राई एटॉमिक का मतलब दोस्तों ये होता है कि किसमें कुल जो है तीन मॉलिक्यूल्स है। तीन मॉलिक्यूल्स अगर समझिएगा तो आसान है और नहीं समझिएगा तो मुश्किल है। इसमें से कौन सा जो है अणु त्रिपरमाणुक है? देखो ऑप्शन है A H2O S2, option B C, option C CO, option D H2O. You know that question is very important and interesting, but one fact is important. H2O has a two atom of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. It means to the tri-atomic there is a H2O because hydrogen are two molecules or oxygen is a one. It means to three triatomics. The D option is correct here. The D option is correct. H2O. Hydrogen is a two molecules and oxygen is a one. It means to the triatomics. Option D is correct. And let's see next question here. The next question on your screen. Question here. Which of the following atoms are isobar? You know that question is very interesting for the exam point of view. Which of the following atoms are isobar here? देखा जाए जो हमारे समक्ष क्वेश्चन आया है काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण है। क्वेश्चन है कि निम्नलिखित में से कौन से परमाणु आइसोबार है। देखिए, आइसोबार का मतलब होता है संभारिक, यानी निम्नलिखित में से कौन सा परमाणु जो है संभारिक है। अगर आप अपने किताब पे जाओगे एनसीईआरटी पे तो वहाँ पर आपको आइसोटॉप और आइसोबार के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन मिलेगी जो काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से रखता है और हमेशा एग्ज़ाम में ये क्वेश्चन आते ही रहते हैं। तो आपको इसका उपयोग भी याद रखना है, समझना है। देखिए, यहाँ पर तो मैं आपको समझा दूंगा कि आइसोबार का मतलब क्या है, क्या इसकी रीजन्स हो सकती है। अगर हम ऑप्शनों पर एक बार नज़र दौड़ाएं तो हमें इसकी महत्ता के बारे में पता लगता है। और ऑप्शन कहता है ए 612C and 614C. ऑप्शन बी इज 1840 AR and 20, 40 CA, and C is a 16, 14 C and 18, 40 AR, and D is a 3, 6 LI and 6, 12 C. You know that question is very interesting. Of which of the followings is the atom or isobar? But first of all, you understand what you mean to the isobar. Isobar mean here, a isobar have a different atomic number. Isobar have different atomic number but same atomic mass. Isobar have a different atomic number but the same atomic mass. It means to here AR and CA have the same atomic mass number. The AR and CA have the same atomic mass number, but different atomic number. 40 is a different atomic number. It means to 18 and 20 respectively here. It means to the option B is correct. Option B is correct. 18, 40 AR and 20, 40 CA. Because isobar have a different atomic number but the same atomic mass number. Option B is correct. The next question on your screen. Question here. A few substances are arranged in the increasing order of the forces of attraction between their particles. Which one of the following represent a correct arrangement? You know that question is very interesting. Question is very interesting. A few substances are arranged in the increasing order of forces of attraction between two their particles, and which one of the following represent a correct arrangement? Mean here, कुछ पदार्थों को उनको कणों के बीच आकर्षण बल के बढ़ते हुए क्रम में आपके समक्ष व्यवस्थित किया गया है। आपको बताना है कि इनमें से कौन सा एक सही व्यवस्था प्रतिनिधित्व करता है, यानी आपको सही क्रम को चुनना है और किस पे इनके बीच कणों के बीच आकर्षण बल को बढ़ते हुए क्रम में यहाँ पर दर्शाया गया है। तो ये काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण है। अगर देखें हम ऑप्शन पे, तो ऑप्शन यह ए वाटर, एयर, विंड, एंड बी एयर, सुगर, ऑयल, and C oxygen, water, sugar. The next here D salt, juice, air. You know that question is very interesting. A few substances arranged in the increasing order of force of attraction between their particle. Which one of the following present correct arrangement here? So it means to here option C. Option C is correct because oxygen, water and sugar, there is a most of attraction. Oxygen, water and sugar, there is a most of attraction, and that is important here. C. The C is correct, and let's see next question here. The next question on your screen. Question here on a converting 25 Celsius, 38 Celsius and 66 Celsius to Kelvin scale. The correct sequence of the temperature will be. You know that question is very interesting. Question here on converting 25 Celsius, 38 Celsius and 66 Celsius to be a Kelvin scale. The correct sequence of temperature will be. The temperatures here means 25 सेल्सियस, 38 सेल्सियस और 66 सेल्सियस को केल्विन पैमानों पर परिवर्तन करने का तापमान का सही क्रम होगा। देखिए, अगर सही क्रम आपको पता करना है तो बहुत ही आसान है और बहुत इजी है। आपको पता होना चाहिए कि केल्विन में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए हमें 273 में जो है प्लस करना पड़ता है सेल्सियस। तो पहले को प्लस कर लीजिए, दूसरे को प्लस कर दीजिए, अपने आप आपका आंसर जो है पता चल जाएगा। तो ये काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण है क्योंकि 273 आपको याद रखना चाहिए कि केल्विन में परिवर्तन करने के लिए 273 की आवश्यकता होती है। तो ये काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण है। अगर हम ऑप्शन पे नज़र डालें तो ऑप्शन ए 298K to 311K and 339K. B is a 298K to 300K and 338K, and C is a 273K, 278K and 543K, and there is a D option 298K, 310K and 338K. You know that question is very interesting, but first of all you plus to 2 7 3 for 25. You know that 25 plus 273 is equal to 298. It means 298 is option, only two option here. No, three option A, B, D. It means to the B, C is a eliminate here. C is a eliminate. A, B, D is the option remind here. And the next 38. Next 38 plus to the 273. 38 plus 273 is equal to 311K. So 311K is only one option. Option A here. It means to the option A is correct. Option A is correct. You know that is the most important question for the exam point of view. And let's see next question here. The next question on your screen, question here. A flexibility in a plant is due to. The flexibility in a plant is due to. मतलब पौधों में जो लचीलापन आता है किसके कारण आता है? पौधों में जो लचीलापन आता है वो किसके कारण आता है? देखा जाए तो क्वेश्चन काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण है और ऑप्शन भी काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण। चलिए देखते हैं ऑप्शन क्या है। ऑप्शन ए कहता है क्लोरोनचीना, ऑप्शन बी इज क्लोरोकाइमा, and C is a perokaima, and D chlorocina. You know that question is very interesting. There is a question flexibility in the plant is due to chlorocina, sclerokaima, C perokaima, and D chlorocina. You know that the most important fact here. The fact is important because the important here or China. Chlorocina is their mechanical tissue in a young dactylodon system and they provide to the great tensile strength with the flexibility to those organ in which it's found. It's allowed to easy bending in the various part of plant. It means to the answer chlorocina. Chlorocina is the option A is correct. Chlorocina is option A is correct. And let's see next question here. The next question on your screen, question here. What is the correct unit of measuring the acceleration of moving object? You know that question, understand? Question is very clear. What is the correct unit of the measuring the acceleration of the moving object? Mean here, किसी गतिशील वस्तु के त्वरण को मापने की सही इकाई क्या है? हम किसी गति, देखिए कोई वस्तु गति में है और गति वस्तु के जो अगर हम एक्सेलरेशन को नापना चाहते हैं तो हम उसको किस में नापेंगे? हम जो गति हुई वस्तु को यानी चलती हुई वस्तु को अगर हम एक्सेलरेशन यानी त्वरण को नापना चाहेंगे तो हम किस में उसको रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे? क्वेश्चन साफ है और समझ वाली है। ऑप्शन देखिए, A meter, B second, C is ms-2, D ms. The most important question for the exam point of view. What is the correct unit of measuring the acceleration of moving object? You know that the one important fact here, acceleration of the moving object is a measuring in the meter per second or the meter per second square. There is two types of measuring here. A meter per second or the meter per second square. It means to the answer here option C. The option C is a meter per second. Meter per second or meter per second square. It means to option C is correct here. There is a correct is the meter per second square. Option C is correct. And let's see next question here. The next question on your screen, question here, which of these involve the conservation of kinetic energy to the potential energy? Know that question, understand? Question here, which of these involve the conservation of kinetic energy to the potential energy? मीन इनमें से किस गति ऊर्जा को स्थिति ऊर्जा में परिवर्तन करना शामिल है, यानी इसमें से कौन सा ऐसा एक्टिविटी है जो गति ऊर्जा को जो है स्थिति ऊर्जा में कन्वर्ट करता है, यानी कंजर्वेशन ऑफ काइनेटिक एनर्जी टू पोटेंशियल एनर्जी, कौन सी गतिविधियाँ जो है काइनेटिक एनर्जी से पोटेंशियल एनर्जी में चेंजेस करता है। तो काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण क्वेश्चन है। ऑप्शन ए, अ पर्सन dividing into the pool of water from a board. Option B here, a person gliding in the air with the help of the parachute. And the option C, a person sliding down from the top of water slide. On option D, a person riding a motorbike to be top on the overbridge. You know that question is very interesting. Which of the involve the conversions of kinetic energy to potential energy? That's important question for the exam point of view here. And one important fact, the person riding a motorbike has a kinetic energy due to the motion. The kinetic energy due to the motion, and which get converted into potential energy after getting to the top of overbridge. Top of overbridge, there is a potential energy, and the riding of bicycle, they are due to their kinetic energy. It means to the option here D is correct. Option D is correct. A person riding a motorbike to top on the overbridge. Option D is correct. And let's see next question here. The next question on your screen, question here, which of these nutrient is required by the plant in the large quantity? Which of these nutrient is required by the plant in large quantity? It mean to here कि जो आपको यहाँ पर दिया गया है इनमें से किस पोषक तत्व की पौधों को बड़ी मात्रा में आवश्यकता होती है, यानी हम किस को जो है पौधों में अधिक मात्रा में देना पसंद करते हैं और पौधों को ज़रूरी भी पड़ता है। तो काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण क्वेश्चन है। अगर आपने एनसीईआरटी की बुक फॉलो किया होगा तो वहाँ पर आपको माइक्रो एंड मैक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट के बारे में पता लगेगा, यानी सूक्ष्म वृहद पोषक के बारे में पता लगेगा। तो उससे भी आप थोड़ा नॉलेज लगा सकते हो कि किस तत्व की आवश्यकता पौधों में सबसे अधिक होता है। द ऑप्शन ए आयरन, ऑप्शन बी जिंक, ऑप्शन सी पोटाशियम, ऑप्शन डी मैग्नीज। You know that question is very interesting. Which of these nutrients is required by the plant is a large quantity? The answer here, option C is correct here, potassium. Potassium nutrient is required by the plant is a large quantity. It is a macro nutrition here, macro, not a micro, macro nutrition. The option C is correct, potassium is correct. And let's see next question here. Next question on your screen. The question here, reasoning and assertions here. You know that is the most important. The question here, the mass of object is away a zero. The mass of an object is away 0. Reason here, mass on object is the measuring of its initials and the substance contained by the body. That's important. The option A, both A are true, but R is the correct expression of A. Option B here, both A and R are true, but R is not a correct explanation of A. And C, A is a true, but R is a false. And D, A is a false, but R is a true. You know that question is very interesting. And mean here कि यहाँ पर आपको अभी कथन और कारण दिया गया है। कह रहा है, पहले क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है किसी वस्तु का द्रव्यमान हमेशा शून्य होता है। ये बात तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि एक स्थान होता है जहाँ पर कोई भी वस्तु हो उसका द्रव्यमान जो होता है शून्य हो जाता है। और इसका कारण ये कह रहा है किसी वस्तु का द्रव्यमान उसकी जड़त्व और शरीर में मौजूद पदार्थ के माप होता है। तो ये क्या बात सही है? तो आपको यहाँ पर एनालाइज करना है और समझना है कि दोनों कथन जो दिए हैं वो वास्तव में क्या कहता है, कि दोनों सही है, क्या एक्सप्लेनेशन सही कर रहा है, तो ये आपको समझना है। द वन इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्ट हियर, marks of on the object can never be a zero. A marks of object can never be zero because marks of the object is the maximum of inertia and the substance contained by the body. The most important fact here, marks on the object can never be zero is because marks on the object is a measuring it is the inertia and the substance containing by the body. It means to the option D is correct. A is a false. A is a totally false. Marks of their not object is 0. And the R is true. R is here true. D option is correct here. And let's see next question here. The next question on your screen, question here. Observations A. When the heat energy is applied to the solid, it is starting melting. Observations is here ask, when the heat energy is supplied to be solid, it is a start to melting. But reason here, solid particle take up to the heat and help in the melting. You know that question is very interesting. Question is here very interesting. मीन अगर अभिकथन की बात करें तो अभिकथन ये कहता है कि जब ठोस को ऊष्मा प्रदान की जाती है तो वह पिघलना शुरू कर देती है। जब ठोस को ऊष्मा दी जाती है तो वो पिघलना शुरू कर देता है। और इसका कारण क्या बनता है? कारण ये होता है कि ठोस कण गर्मी ग्रहण करते हैं और पिघलने में उसको मदद करते हैं। तो यहाँ पर आपको समझना है कि इसमें से कौन सा कथन जो है सही जाएगा। बहुत ही कथन यहाँ पर इम्पोर्टेंट है, समझने वाला है। द ऑप्शन हियर बोथ ए एंड बी आर ट्रू and R is the correct explanation of the A. Option B, both A and R are the true and the R is not a correct explanation of A. And C here, A is a true but R is a false. And D, for A false but R is a true. You know that question is very interesting. When the heat energy is applied to be solid, it is a start to melting. Yes, it is correct. Solid particle take up the heat and help to the melting. This also is correct here. It means to option A is correct. Both A and R is true and R is the correct explanation of A. It means to the option A is correct for this question. And let's see next question here. The next question on your screen, question here. Observation is here asks, the guard cell are a specialized epidemic cell. You know that guard cell are a specialized epidermal cell. And reason here, stomata are found in the epidermis of leaf. You know that question is very interesting. And mean here, the mean is important here कि गार्ड कोशिका विशिष्ट एपिडेमिस कोशिका है। देखिए, गार्ड सेल को एक विशिष्ट कोशिका एपिडेमिस माना गया है। और कारण बताया जा रहा है कि स्टोमेटा जो है पत्तियों की बाहरी त्वचा में पाए जाते हैं। स्टोमेटा जो है पत्तियों की बाहरी त्वचा में पाए जाते हैं। क्या ये बात सही हो सकता है? तो आपको यहाँ पर समझना है कि ये कथन क्या हो सकता है सही। द ऑप्शन है यहाँ both A and R is true but R is the correct explanation of A. B is both A and R are true but R is not a correct explanation A. C here, A is true but R is a false. And D also A is a false but R is a true. You know that first of all, one important thing understand here. The understanding A and R true. A and R true because stomata are present in the epidermis of leaf. Stomata are present in the epidermis of leaf and they are initially for the transpiration and gases exchange. Stomata are the means apertures is bounded by the two specialized epidermis cell is called guard cell. It means to the options here A and B is true, but R is not a good explanation of the A. It means to the option B is correct. Both A and R is true, but R is not a correct explanation of A. It means to option B is correct. And let's see next MCQ here. The next question on your screen. Question here. Acceleration is asked here. The presence of weeds affect the crop field. Presence of weeds affect the crops is a field. Note that that's important. And reason here, weeds complete for the food, space and light. Know that weeds complete the food, space and the light. That's important question for the exam point of view here. You know that meaning here. अभी कथन ये कहता है कि खरपतवार की उपस्थिति फसल के खेत को काफ़ी प्रभावित करती है। बात तो सही है, खेतों में अगर खरपतवार हो जाए, वीड्स हो जाए, तो वो फसलों को ख़राब कर देते हैं, फसलों के सारे न्यूट्रिशन ले लेते हैं। बात सच्चाई है। अब देखिए कारण क्या कहता है, खरपतवार भोजन स्थान और प्रकाश के लिए प्रतिस्पर्धा करते हैं, यानी संघर्ष करते हैं। क्या ऐसा हो सकता है? तो देखा जाए तो ये काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण बात है। खरपतवार की उपस्थिति के कारण खेतों को काफ़ी प्रभावित होता है। और कारण क्या है, खरपतवार भोजन और स्थान के लिए, प्रकाश के लिए जो हमारा पौधा होता है खरपतवार में आपसी संघर्ष होते हैं। तो क्या हो सकता है? द ऑप्शन है ए, बोथ ए एंड आर इज ट्रू बट आर इज अ करेक्ट एक्सप्लेनेशन ए, बोथ ए एंड आर इज ट्रू बट आर इज नॉट करेक्ट एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ ए, and C, A is true but R is false, and A is the false but R is true. But first of all, you understand the important things here. The important things here of weeds are unwanted plant in the cultivated field. The weeds are unwanted plant in the cultivated field like anthrax, parathorns and saprosotons, and the seeds take up nutrients and the weeds take up the nutrients and reduce the growth of crop. There is a remove the necessary. There is a remove for the necessary because there is a reduce the nutrition in growing crop. It means to the A and B is correct, means to acceleration reason is correct, and R is correct explanation. It means the option A is correct. Both A and R is true, and R is the correct explanation of the A. It means the option A is correct. That's important for the exam point of view. And learn and read. This topic was till this. We will be do their next topic in the next part. If you like it, then please like, share, subscribe and share the video as a much as a possible. Do not think, subscribe and save in your mobile. Thank you.